Welcome and thank you for joining our Sanctuary community and celebration. Sanctuary Church is a 508c1a faith-based organization. Our faith in sacred mushrooms stems from prehistoric use by our ancestors and the personal experiences of our modern members. Psilocybin mushrooms are one of the greatest sacraments that nature offers, raising our awareness so that we can access a direct connection to the source of life. It is our sincere belief that the consumption of psilocybin-containing mushrooms is a communion which brings us closer to what is commonly called God. We understand this concept as pure consciousness, which permeates all being. This pure consciousness is, we believe, the ineffable source of creation and the origin of health and well-being. I don't think I identify myself. I'm Stephen, and I'll be your host this morning. Our vision and mission at Sanctuary is to live in a world with supportive and joyful communities, empowered to discover our own divinity with sacred mushrooms and each other. We are bringing people together for healing and connection to divine revelation through communion with sacred mushrooms. We ask you to mute your mics if you're not muted already. The 30-minute service portion of our gathering prior to open discussion is being recorded and will be posted on YouTube for community viewing. Each Sunday will begin with community announcements and updates, followed by a short guided meditation and a moment of gratitude for our sacrament and all those who commune with it. Each Sunday, we read from two texts, each followed by a journal reflection and facilitated discussion. We invite you now to find a comfortable space where you can settle in and be present as we begin our service. I invite Chris to share announcements and upcoming events and offerings.
That's me. Thank you, Stephen. In the last few days, we've had two groups, one in Maine and another in Kentucky, commune with the mushroom together. We're so grateful to have this community where we may come together not only during, but also in between communions with the mushroom. Our virtual and in-person circles are one way in which we integrate these sacred experiences together. You can check out all of our upcoming events on sanctuary.org or scan the QR code as you see it on the slide with your phone. Our virtual circles and workshops are open to non-members for a suggested $5 donation and remain open at no cost for official members. Virtual offerings this week include Veterans Healing with Psilocybin this evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Directors open office hours on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Internal Family Systems on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Sacred Passage Support Circle on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Admin office hours on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, bright and early for you guys. Sanctuary Book Club on Saturday at 10:30 Eastern and 7:30 Pacific in the morning. That is all the announcements for today.
Thank you, Chris.
Welcome.
I now invite Jason to share this week's Sanctuary FAQ.
Good morning, everyone. When Courtney asked me to share about book club, which is the topic for today, I was kind of reflecting on how best to describe book club, because if you join book club thinking that, okay, I'm gonna rack up the number of books I read each year, you'd be disappointed. We go very, very slowly. The idea is to find ways to embody what we're learning with the mushrooms. So, like for example, we spent probably a year reading Letting Go by David Hawkins. We ended up reading it, and then read it through again, went through chapter by chapter, and spent a lot of time, digging into how we're incorporating these ideas into our lives, or discussing the challenges that we come across. So we use books as a way to kind of glean a little bit of information, or just kind of as fodder for discussion. and then trying to develop relationships with one another to kind of deepen our experience with the mushroom. So it's book club, I think, is kind of a generic title that doesn't quite do it justice. It's more about connecting with the other people in the group and like I said, learning a little bit. As Chris mentioned, you can find the link in the events calendar. It's 10:30 on Saturday mornings. Uh, Russell's been kind enough to help us with some Qigong classes. We meet an hour before that using the same link. So if you care to join that, you're more than welcome. Otherwise, I'll let you all move on from here.
Thank you, Jason. If you are not yet a member and are interested in joining our community of over 500 official members, you may begin by visiting Psanctuary.org. Like the mycelial network we seek to emulate, Psanctuary relies on the support and resources of our community while giving back health and wholeness to the same. We seek to create a nationwide and eventually global community that contributes to the healing of humanity. Your support is incredibly valuable as we grow. I would like to now announce our newest members. We have 8 new members from 5 states and 1 territory. We have Aaron from Indiana, David from Kentucky, Tasha from Kentucky, Blanca from Florida, David from Maine, Cheryl from the U.S. Virgin Islands, Roland from Georgia, and Scott from Indiana. So welcome, everyone. I would now like to invite Guy to lead us in a short meditation.
Thank you so much, Chris. Good morning, everybody. Just find a nice, comfortable place to sit, lay down, stand up, whatever your jam is. This will be a little meditation about awareness. Let's start with the breath. And just slowly close your eyes. Just fall into a natural breath. Nice and soft. Just pull that awareness into your breath. And what does that feel like? How does the air moving in and out of your lungs? Mine's a little choppy. I got a cold. And it's still flowing nicely. And with the breath, pull your awareness into the sounds around you. My voice, the sounds in the room, and distant sounds far, far away. Just pull that awareness into those sounds and how they feel moving through you. And with that nice soft breath, now pull your awareness down into your body, all the way down to the tips of your toes. Feel those feet. Just give them some love, allowing them to relax. Muscles, the tendons, the bones. Just letting everything relax and allow that space to expand all the way up your legs. Just relaxing any tension, pulling that awareness into the tightness, pulling it into that which you resist. Pulling that awareness into your belly and up the spine, relaxing your shoulders, your neck, and all the way down to the tips of your fingers. And check in with those feet. Are they still nice and relaxed and soft? And now just pull your awareness up into your face and feel the tension fall away. We carry so much stress in our jaw and our face. Just let it all drop. Let it soft. And as you do, just check in with those hands and feet and your jaw, the relaxation cascading with every heartbeat, with every pulse, feeling the softness and the awareness of the blood flowing through your body, the miracle of the beat, with the softness of breath. Just sitting in the stillness. Pull your awareness into gratitude at this moment. Of being, of community, and love's grace. Feel that gratitude for your human suit and the softness and the stillness of breath. With that attunement to pulse, slowly bring yourself back into the space, back into the space of community and love, and eyes open and hearts joined in love. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Guy. That was very nice.
Thank you so much, Chris.
While we are still in this mindful centered space, I invite us all to place our hands on our heart as we take a few moments to send loving intention to our sacrament and to all who cultivate or consume these sacred mushrooms. Without these gifts of our Creator and the communion of our members, this community would not exist. As Chris mentioned earlier, let's include the members of Maine and down in Barren River who are celebrating this weekend together. The healing brought on by our sacrament is not limited to the times when we consume the mushroom, but extends into all aspects of our lives and spreads like the mycelium around our world. It is through intention and attention that we call forth the healing power of the mushroom and the community that we have formed around it. Let us use our ever-expanding awareness to bring greater peace and healing to our world. Let us radiate gratitude from our hearts to our Creator, to our community, and to those who cultivate our sacrament, for these gifts impart healing to those who commune with love and sincerity. In cultivating and consuming this sacrament, we become aware of the oneness of life, the knowing that we live in all things and that all things live in us. Let us apply this understanding to all of our relationships and aid us in our journey as members of the human family. Thank you, everyone. The paradoxical nature of life and its mysteries are best experienced through the ineffable space we find in our communion with the mushroom. For more than 2,000 years, the Tao Te Ching has provided guidance and instruction for exploring the paradox of existence. It is for this reason that we employ the Tao Te Ching as our primary sacred text and invite all to study it further as you delve deeper into the mystery of life. And now invite Susan to read today's Tao Te Ching chapter aloud.
Tao Te Ching, Chapter 7. The universe is eternal and earth is lasting. The reason the universe and earth are eternal and lasting is that they do not exist for themselves. That is why they endure. The wise humble themselves, and because of their humility, they are worthy of praise. They put others first and so become great. They are not focused on outcomes or achievements, therefore they always succeed.
Thank you, Susan. Please take out your journals and pens for 5 minutes of reflection on today's Tao Te Ching reading. What feelings, thoughts, and ideas did this reading bring up in you? We will have the opportunity to further explore what came up for us during a 20-minute discussion time following journaling. I'll set my timer now for 5 minutes.
Stephen, can you go back to the previous slide?
You betcha.
Thank you.
We have one more minute. Okay. Guess we will now move into our discussion period of the Tao.
Hello, everyone. So I think we have 20 minutes we'll put on the clock for anyone who wants to share what your reflections are. So I have the Tao book that we read before, which is the translation from Lao Tzu, and it says, "Heaven lasts long and earth abides. What is the secret of their durability? It is not because they do not live for themselves. Is it not because they do not live for themselves that they can live so long? Therefore, the sage wants to remain behind, but finds himself at the head of others, reckons himself out, but finds himself safe and secure. Is it not because he is selfless that his self is realized?" I think this one, I'd like to post this up on a board and have everybody read it every day. I guess for me, it's all about intention. What's the reason we're doing the thing that we're doing? And if the reason that we're doing the thing that we're doing is so that we can help others or love others, or I guess love ourselves too, then everything will be okay. And if the reason is some other reason, then it's kind of like a universal law to me. So, of course, I'll humble myself and say I don't really know. So, is there others that might want to come forward and speak what this brought up in them or how they translated it?
Hi, Amy.
Hello.
So, yeah, that you kind of hit it right on there, and I got a little bit of a head start. I feel like because my dad raised me with, "What was your motive?" And that's how I raised, all my kids and stepkids, all 9 of them. And the rules weren't the same. The consequences were not ever the same because it was about their motive and intent. Were they trying to help someone and do something, or were they trying to be a little shit? And so,
I'm
right, were
sorry.
they being selfish? Did they just, And so I find myself parenting myself. I spend a lot of time parenting myself and living by the same rules I've set for them. So, yeah, put it on a board and let us read it every day. Thank you.
It kind of made me think about Guy's meditation too when you said parenting yourself, because I think we have to even be aware that we're doing it. And that's one thing that psilocybin I think helps is like show us a mirror, like, oh, I didn't know I was doing that. All right, thanks, Crystal. Evangeline.
Hi, good morning. It's very short, but I guess the only thing that came to mind, although the idea of simplicity and humility is very beautiful, and the closer we get to that, I think just the more peaceful our world will be. But I just thought of the election, and I just thought of the way, they're talking about Kamala Harris and contrasting to Trump. And I don't want to make this a whole political thing, but there's something so beautiful in the way where they're talking about her today, because they were talking about her mother and how her mother raised her. Her mother had two goals, and she said one was to raise my children. She was an immigrant woman who did it by herself, came to America by herself, but also she said to cure breast cancer. And she had these two things, missions that she devoted her life to. And that's like really selfless. And I just think this contrast is so stark. And when, she comes from that stock and she's embodying that, I think she's sort of living out what we're trying to talk about in terms of being selfless and serving. And so it came up in a more political context this morning, but that's what I have to say.
Angeline, for that real world example. Katrina.
Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry my video isn't working. I too have a translation from Lao Tzu, and it translated into English with Gaia Fu Feng and Jane English. I had a master suggest this version, and I think it's kind of it's fewer words, but it might hit home for people, so I figured I might read it. Heaven and earth last forever. Why do heaven and earth last forever? They are unborn, so ever living. The wise stay behind and are thus ahead. They are detached, thus at one with all. Through selfless action, they attain fulfillment. Now, for me and in my experience in my life, I've had quite a few near-death experiences, and maybe more than a little near-death. And realizing, coming back, that the part of me that's unborn, my spirit part, is like the heaven and the earth lasting forever beyond this sphere of existence. And if I can stay detached from my feelings about how I had those near-death experiences, then I find that I'm at one with everything and can experience my divinity in more than just the mushroom space. But I can experience it in book club, for instance, like Jason was talking about, the authentic sharing that we do there. And in other groups here at Sanctuary, attaining a oneness of our spirits beyond heaven and earth is really what this movement feels like to me. And that's why I thought it was important to read this version. And selfless action and finding, but not just finding, but attaining fulfillment. I mean, how many people are that we've experienced that want to know their purpose or want to know why we're here on earth, but yet if we can find that part of unity in our soul and play around with our creative divinity and, kind of clean up some of our bad habits and serve each other with selfless actions, helping one another, then all of a sudden we find ourselves in this peaceful place. And we never would have imagined that our life would look like that. But we have the joy and we have the bliss that we want. And we're sharing it with everybody, therefore making this more of a heavenly planet and a heavenly existence. And I feel like that's part of what we do here in Sanctuary, and why I came here was this very text and how we play around with this and how we talk about our faults and foibles, but also how to move through them and be more at peace, like hearing Guy do his meditation. You can tell even though he's sick, he just is beaming what he's talking about. He's beaming this oneness, he's beaming this love. And, I feel that in book club. I feel that here in Sanctuary as we discuss some of the books, everybody's heart comes out and we're all just trying to make it as people in this human flesh bag that we carry around with us. But sometimes it can be glorious and it can be beyond heaven and earth and that oneness of this community and sharing this other way of looking at life, this other way of experiencing things and God, our existence in the mushroom space in the sanctuary. So I'm really grateful to be here. Thanks for your service, everyone in Sanctuary. I just love being here with everyone.
Katrina, I just want to say, like, can I get a hallelujah?
Hallelujah!
Thank you so much. I really love that translation too. I really love that translation. And everything you said afterwards.
Thank you. Thank you, Amy. I love what you shared too.
Thank you. Lenore and Russell, good morning.
Hi.
Hey.
After hearing Patrina, I feel like I don't need to say anything because that's what came to me when I heard the reading was this group, this sanctuary church
Try it, baby.
embodies that so much, and I wanted to say thank you to Jason and Athena and Amy and Chris and Stephen and all of you who are there sort of behind the scenes. I think that you really are doing this and creating a space. I mean, I know we all do it together, but I really do appreciate that. I feel like that is what is happening in this church because there's no big ego. And because of that letting go of self, there is apparently, to me, wonderful success. It's growing and amazing things are happening. And so again, like Patrina, I just am appreciative of being a part of it. And Patrina, also, I would like to have recorded what you said. It's so beautiful and helpful.
Agreed. We do post on YouTube, but I don't know when. Sometimes it takes a while.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, everything you just said too. I was thinking, I wrote down let go of self to be one. When you said that, like, in order for us all to become one, we got to let go of a little bit of that. And then I was getting a lot of Qigong reference, talking about detaching and I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much. And I'm so grateful for this community myself. Johnny D.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Yeah, at first when I read this, like the way it's phrased, universe is eternal. All right, that's the universe. And then the earth is something different or lasting. So I understand. And then it clears it up in the next part that says the reason why heaven and earth are able to endure. Oh, they meant the universe is eternal and the earth is eternal. Right?
Well, so Johnny, I looked up the word, it was abides in the other Tao Te Ching, because I was wondering that too. And abides almost felt like it says to accept or act in accordance with, to be able to tolerate something or someone. So it kind of felt like the earth is kind of in for the ride with the universe, and they have to accept whatever the rules are. It sounded like the earth might not be as fun.
Or the earth would last, but it would end or something. Anyway.
Or it has to suffer because it has to endure or abide. It, like, I don't know. Anyway.
Right. All right. So, but it cleared it up, that part of it. And then so what spoke to me was this, it's demonstrating again this unity consciousness versus the separateness. However, it did mention the earth, and that seems to be the problem, in that it's an illusion of separateness, and things are separate and things are opposite. So it seems as though it's a purpose. It's a purposed. What am I? The word I'm thinking about. It's a purposed situation whereby we are not unity consciousness. It forces us to be in a situation where it's the opposite. Although what would be the reason for that would be to somehow strain or a strain on our true nature of unity, so that somehow we're in a tough situation whereby our muscles, so to speak, get of unity grow stronger because it has a weight of duality to grow against. That seems to be it. And so this idea that they are able to endure and continue because of their true nature of unity, right? And then this idea of like chasing needs with the illusion, chasing needs of the self, that through satisfying our needs with an illusion that through satisfying them, I will be happy. So it's like this really house of mirrors that's really opposite, and it's no wonder. And so it's amazing to me. I don't know if anyone else, but it's amazing to me how sensitive I am. I am to feeling separate in the face of unity, you know. That kind of, it always strikes me, for instance, when we talk, and I love being here, but it's like, I'm still feel so separate, you know, in a way. And like, for instance, when you talk about the psilocybin and the sacrament and all this, and I'm like, where is it, you know? And I'm just going through a grief thing too, because last year I grew shrooms. All right, did fine. And then I started again with this monotub, and I fucked up a step. I was telling Eric this. It's just like, I don't know why I did it, but the last step, I put a coker for that wasn't pasteurized. It was like, and now I'm looking at it, I gotta dump it. The point is, where are the fucking mushrooms? Where are the people I can do it with? How do you,
Johnny, we're all one, so you're getting a chance to, even though you aren't.
yeah, so I'm getting into the thing. But what I'm saying, but it speaks to the reading, the sense of self. I know it's my fault. But it's a sense of separation kind of thing that just keeps coming up. And it's a strange thing. And I understand it too, because we've got this huge pressure of the federal government and all this other shit that we're dealing with. And even us, now I don't know, even in Sanctuary, it's like, psst, 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 psst. Oh, no, I can't send it to, you can't even talk about it, you know? Why we can't, you know, it's just, but I'm not saying it,
Johnny, yeah,
I'm not saying I'll get over this. I'm just,
yeah.
let's
try to call into one of the office hours. Let's talk about it some more. I feel your frustration.
I did sign up. I'm going positive. I did sign up for the cultivation thing and all that. It's just been an amazingly weird situation. Sorry. And now I got to apologize for being honest. So I apologize.
No, please don't apologize. I just wanted to try to keep it on topic a little bit, but I understand how that is on topic because it feels very separate to be part of a sacred mushroom church and then not have access to mushrooms or people to experience the mushroom with. I see us growing, although there may be one person in one state, there might be two people in one state. So I feel you, Johnny, and hopefully that'll change soon for you. Rex, do you want to take us out? Oh, you might not need the full 2 minutes, but and also everything, Johnny, you said about the Tao, everything you said about the Tao, I was just like, I just wanted to write it all down too. So thank you for sharing.
Okay, well, I'll
go ahead, Rex.
You know, it's amazing me how Lao Tzu puts a lot of concepts into some short poetic words, but you know, the way I read it, you know, I talk about heaven and earth, or what, you know, the void, the Tao nature, they perform functions without selfish desires, wanting or seeking. And by letting go of our attachment to objects and self-centered thoughts, and becoming equanimous to what is, that we mirror the nature of the Tao and the eternal now. And that brings up points on equanimity and the difference between seeking and going into a natural flow. But no time. Also talks about altruism, the genuine selfless desire to help others, and it inspires people and wins their respect. Though the wise ones or the sages have no wish to draw attention, people single them out and look to them for leadership. And through these sages, they've humbly placed themselves last. The people push them to the forefront into positions of responsibility, and long after they've passed on, their memory endures. Lao Tzu's an excellent example of this. By all accounts, was content to be humble and an unknown philosopher. He never sought fame or recognition or claimed to be divine in any way, but here we are reading his words 25 centuries later. And also, this brings up the concept of being, quote, outside of oneself, unquote, and not focused on outcomes or achievements. And it speaks to being unconcerned about one's well-being or the surrender and sacrifice of oneself, being able to drop your patterns, your reactions, your judgments while you're in the midst of them. And that's true. To drop the fight is the deepest practice. I mean, this is the only fight you win by giving up, by surrendering, dying on the battlefield or willingly climbing up on the cross. And that's my take. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't realize there'd be music with that timer. I don't know if you guys all heard that.
It's kind of like the Academy Awards, ushering people up the stage.
Yeah, get off the stage. Stop thinking. All right.
All right. We've come together with intentions of service to the land and all its inhabitants. It is in our hearts to go forth into the world with the collective consciousness. We encourage you to stay for continued fellowship and conversation around our rotating text today. For those unable to stay, we thank you for being with us and wish you a great week ahead. As we further our conversation, please remember that all perspectives are welcome as we search for the spiritual truth that unites us all. And please remember that we are not a medical or therapeutic organization. Statements made by the moderator or members of Psanctuary are their own. We are here discovering and exploring along with you. And I will now end the recording.